Alrighty guys, welcome back. This is your host, the Jester. We are probably going to be finishing up our old school tactical East Front scenario from Stalingrad called RATTENKrieg, the War of the Rats. And this is from September 24th, 1942. We are starting the turn number 3, if I recall. Turns are over here. Wait a minute. Over here somewhere. There we go. So we're down to turn number 3. So just a couple turns left, and it might be over before that. Who knows? I'm not going to get out my dice tower and everything we're just going to use the built-in thing because I don't have room tonight to get everything out. So, all right, turn marker we did. Reinforcements we did. Attach leaders. So I did that off screen. So remember that one leader that lost his crew, came running back. So he's now going to attach with these guys right here. If it'll pop up, that would be awesome. Hello. There you go. So he's going to attach with that rifle squad there. This guy and this guy and this guy will attach to them. He's still attached to that unit. We have the sergeant down here with the broken unit. He will stay with them. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is everyone. So, leader attachment done. Smoke counters, we don't have any. Scenario rolls. So we don't have any scenario rolls for specific objectives or anything. So now we go to the free, rally, and bog rolls. So, I got this unit down here. I think he's the only one that's broken. So we need a 9 or higher. He gets a +1 to his dice roll, because he has a good order leader with him. So +1 to the dice roll. So let's go ahead and roll it. 3 + 1 is 4. He is no longer broken. He is now just shaken, but he didn't recover very well, did he? And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that is all of the free rallies. Now the initiative rolls. So we'll do German first. So Germans rolled a 3. And for the Soviets, they rolled a 4. So they barely won, but the Soviets are going to get the initiative. All right. And now the impulse rolls. First for the German, they get 2d6. Oh my gosh, they rolled a 1-1. That is... Oh my gosh. All right, they were going to turn in their card and they're going to get the +3 from their event. So 3, 4. They're only going to have 5 impulses. That might be the end of the Germans, only having 5 impulses. Wow. I don't know. They don't have a lot of units left to really do anything with anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's roll for the Soviets. They actually get 3d6, so we'll roll the 2d6 and then add another dice. They get 3d. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I think the Germans, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, they have 8 casualty points, which means they're going to drop down in impulse point. They're down to 4. The Soviets have only 2 casualty points, so they're not going to lose anything. So for the Soviets, they're going to get what? 1-1 again? That's crazy. Look at the numbers we just rolled. We rolled a 1-2, then a 2-1, then a 1-3, then a 1-1, then a 1-1. Fortunately, they get a 6-sider as well, so they get 5, 6, 7. At least they're going to have 7 impulses. Not a lot, but more than the Germans have, and they have initiative. All right, let's take a look at our situation here. So Soviets are going to win initiative. What do they want to do? Do they want to attack, fire with this huge stack of units with their support weapons and the bundle and everything? Do they want to try and run over and capture an objective? Germans are going to have to try and keep 3 of the objectives, or they're going to end up losing here. I think these guys are going to move here. Activate for 1 impulse point. So that's going to take them down to 6. So it's 1, 2 to move in the building. Now, I guess the lieutenant, do they opportunity fire? It would be 4 firepower against 6 defense. They do get a leader, though. Otherwise, that's, you know, that squad's going to get that control point. They're going to have to shoot. So the Germans will spend an impulse point to opportunity fire with this squad here. So 4 firepower, range 6. They do have line of sight, so no problem there. 4 defense plus 2 for the building is 6. So they're going to be on the -2 column. They are going to get the +1 to their die roll because of the leader. So -2 column. I see what they roll here. Oh my gosh, another. So that would be 2, 3, 4 on the -2 column is going to be nothing. So these guys are going to get a move or a fire marker. Well, it's just fired. And then they're going to go 3, 4, and they're going to take possession of that control marker. Let's go Russian control. There we go. Let's put that underneath. So Russians are going to now own that control point, which means Germans are going to go down to 3, and the Soviets will go up to 2. I think you do that at like the end of the turn, but I'm just going to do it now so I don't forget. All right, and then this guy, we're going to move marker on him. So it goes to the German player. All right, the German player is going to activate this guy right here. He's got to try and make a last-ditch effort to try and capture or keep this last control point. So he is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, and he will move right there. So back to the Soviets, who have how many points left? They have 6 impulses left. Yeah, they can really get around the German here at this point. So this guy is shaking, half fire and half move. This guy already fired. He could fire again. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, yeah, one way or the other. So these guys are going to activate to move. And it's going to cost 2 impulses because there's 2 full squads there. So it's going to take them down to 4 impulses left. They will activate to move. And they're going to go, again, this is a street, but it also has a building because it has that. So they're going to spend 2 movement points to go in the building. This unit can opportunity fire. This unit can opportunity fire. It's going to be the same attack, either one of those, but that would be, they would only have 1 more left, but they know that they're going to come for this. So do they just hold their fire and then wait till they take over the control point? And then shoot them because they'll be adjacent. You'll get an extra bonus for being adjacent, but then they'll have the control point. Oh boy. Alright, so this guy's going to fire again. 4 firepower. these guys have 4 defense. He's only gonna be able to shoot one of the rifle squads anyways. But maybe he can do some damage to it. So 4 firepower. He's gonna aim for the top rifle squad there. 4 defense plus 2 for the building is 6, so -2, but he gets the +1 to his roll. This time he rolls. Oh, he rolls a 12. Wow. And that is going to be a casualty and a broken check. So casualty. And he's going to take a broken check, which is 7 or higher. He needs. He rolls a 3, so he becomes broken as well. And because this unit took a casualty, we have to roll for the lieutenant. And on a 1, he's a casualty. It's a 4, so he's okay. And let's see, what else was there that we need to... Something about... Let's see here. Let's bring up old school tactical rules here. And let's do a search for casualties. UALTY, casualty. Leader casualty rolls, 86. Page 86. So let's go to page 86. Or page 16 maybe? Is that what the... Let's see, 16. No, that's not how it was done. Leader casualty roll. Here we are. All right. Okay, the leader must pass a gut check roll as well or become broken himself. All right. So he needs to pass with a 7 or higher. He rolls an 8, so the leader does not become broken. Oh, leaders only have to take 1 roll for the worst of the multiple effects. So if you have a casualty and an S result, the leader only has to make 1 roll against the casualty roll. So yeah, he wouldn't have had to become broken anyways. All right, so that's good to know. All right, so there you go. So that's that info. So now we need to find out if... Can they continue moving or not? Actually, vehicle combat. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. We want... Just trying to remember if they can continue. I just was playing Lock and Load, and even though they're both tactical systems, they're both different. So I hate to get something wrong here. Group move. Okay, so that is section 14. 70 something or another. Assault move, group move. Okay, group move. Okay, if a unit in the group must stop because of the attack, the group must stop. Okay, there you go, boom. So these guys are all marked as moved. So because that guy become broken, they all have to stop moving. So that's good to know. So the Germans might have saved their bacon there. They only have, they lost an impulse for opportunity fire. Right. They only have one impulse left, so they are going to pass. Because they have less impulses than the Russian player, who have 4 left. So we're going to only be able to do one more thing. So if we delete, hide the units. The Russian player is going to move this unit there in the building. Actually, hang on a second. Yeah, he is going to go. He's going to go there, 1, 2. And it's going to cost him an impulse to do that. And the Germans will not opportunity fire. That would be their last impulse. They have to keep the Russians guessing. They have to keep the Russians guessing. This guy is marked as used, by the way, now, because he fired again. Got to make sure I remember to mark everything. He's going to be used. Let's bring down a couple in case I need another one. But he is used because he fired twice. He fired on the guy coming up this way, and then he fired on these guys coming down here. So the Russian player is going to activate this sergeant and this shock unit. And they're going to go 1, 2 to move there. This guy could fire. This guy could fire. He will not fire though, so these guys are marked as moved. And did I take a thing off? Can't remember if I took a thing off or not. Damn. Hopefully I'm not ripping them off. Alright, so German player with their last impulse is going to pass once again. Says this guy should be marked as moved as well. Alright, this guy is going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 to move there. He will be marked as moved and, oh, not used. Marked as moved. And that'll cost the Russians an impulse. Russians are in no rush because they have the advantage right now. They're still going to be at least turn 2, turn 1. So there's going to be at least 2 more turns. So they don't need to push it yet. The Germans have to take their activation because they don't have less. So I guess the sniper is going to take a pot shot at these guys. So 2 firepower, +1 for being adjacent, 3 firepower. He's going to try and target the sergeant. He can try that, so he might as well take the leader out if he can. So that's going to be 2 firepower, +1 for being adjacent. Leader has a 4 defense, +2 for the building is 6, so he's not going to be at a -3 column. And let's just look and see if there's any other modifiers there. I don't think so after looking at the table, so let's see what he gets for a roll. 6 on the -3 column is nothing. So he's going to be marked as fired. And that'll be it. And all the Russians have 1 impulse left. Yeah, they're going to assault move into this hex right there. And so that will cost them their last impulse. I'm not going to go ahead and mark it because we know that. Although he is leaving that hex wide open. You know what? Maybe not. Let's see. If he comes over here, this German could possibly come back and try and take that point. Although, if they take out the Russian sniper, which they should be able to do, yeah, I think taking out the sniper is going to be worth it. So they're going to spend their last activation to assault move into the hex. So that'll be their last impulse, and that'll be that for the play turn. Melee phase. Alright, so let's calculate up. The shock troop is a 5 firepower, +1 because he's a shock troop, takes him to 6, +2 for the firepower, or for the melee bonus they get. So 5, 6, 7, 8 versus a 3. I'm sorry, 8 versus a 5. Sniper's got 5 defense. So 8 versus 5. They're going to be on the +3 column. And he's going to get a +1 to the dice roll because of the sergeant. And let's see what happens. 5 +1 is 6. And a broken chance. So the sniper needs to roll 7 or higher. And he rolls a 3 and becomes broken. The sniper, we'll mark him broken in a second here. Sniper has a fire. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not true. Snipers only have 1 attack and 1 defense in melee combat. They don't get their 5. So actually, it's a 5 on the +7 column, which is going to give him a casualty, which will kill the sniper. But this is simultaneous, so the sniper gets a 1 versus a 4 defense. So he's on the -3 column. Let's see what he can do. Oh, another 2-1. That's crazy. So the sniper is going to be casualty, and it's going to raise the casualties for the for the Germans up to 9. And that will be all the melees, so we can delete the admin counters. There we go. We're getting a little bit quicker at this. A little bit. Not much, but a little bit. I'll take it. All right, so we did the melee phase. Remove the unit marker. Score the victory points. That's when you score it, but yeah, we don't have to worry about that. And then send the turn, extended play check, and then we end the game. So that'll be the end of the turn. We will go to turn number 2 left. There we go. And reinforcements, there are none. Attach leaders and weapons. Change weapons. Leader. So the leader is now going to switch to the good rifle squad. So this guy is going on the bottom of the group. Hopefully, did I do that right? Yep, except for I forgot to take his bundle with him. And this goes above the rifle squad, right? Alright, so rifle squad bundle is broken, and then the light machine gun and the regular rifle squad, and then the lieutenant, so he's going to go with him. This guy will go with him. This guy will go with him. That'll be fine. These guys are fine. Okay, so that's leader. Weapons. Does anybody want to change weapons? The rifle squad will keep the bundle, I think, because it's worth more. That's fine. The shock troop will keep his weapon, and yeah, that'll be good. All right. Smoke counters, none. Scenario rolls, none. Free rallies. All right, so let's try this broken unit down here. He needs a 9. He gets a +1 because of the leader, and he gets a +1 because there's another squad that is not a good ordered squad in his thing, so he gets another +1. So he gets a +2 to his dice roll. He needs 9 or higher. Let's see if he can do it. 9 + 2 is 11. He's going to make it, so he's no longer broken. That's bad news for our Germans. They really needed that one to happen. Now this guy gets, he's a shaken. He needs 7 or higher. And he gets a +1 to his die roll because he has a sergeant. And that's it. He rolls an 11. He will make it fine as well. Oh, that's really bad news for the Germans. Really bad news. Everyone just rallied together. Hope this squad should be under the light machine gun, right? I think the support weapon. Oh, the support weapons I think actually do go underneath the unit. Now that I think about it. Yeah. All right. Alrighty, so that was the free rally. Initiative roll. So first for the Germans, they got a 4. For the Russians, they got a 6. The Russians are going to win initiative. Now we go for impulse rolls. Germans, they get they had 9 casualty points. If they're at 10 casualty points, they get a -2, but they get a -1. They have 2 dice. They rolled a 6. So they're going to get 6 impulses. The Russians get 3d6. That would be 4, 5, 6 plus 4, another 6 out of it. That's 8, 9. They're going to get 10 impulses. 10 impulses. Boom. 10 impulses. The German player, I forgot, only gets 5 because of his casualty marker. All right. And the Russians get to go first, which is bad news all the way around for the Germans. They're really in a world of hurt here. Really in a world of hurt. They got 5 impulses. The Russians have 10 impulses. Means they're going to be able to bring everything to bear on the poor Germans. Okay. Well, That's interesting, actually. They do have some choices here. They could just go in, take the attacks by these guys. Or one of these units will probably opportunity fire. But that would leave the Germans able to come back and try to get this point down here. So if they don't do this... Well, they're going to be able to take 1 point, but that'll just give the Germans the opportunity to grab one of the other points. So if they don't, if we move units back to try and keep that point, then the Germans will be able to come up. But we do have this big stack of units just waiting. Tough decision, to be honest. But you know what? I think we got to put the pressure on them. So it's going to cost us 2 activation points, because there's 2 squads there. And it's going to take us down to 8. I'm trying to leave it zoomed in. That's why I go up and back. I could just play like this, right? Where we're zoomed out. Oops. Zoomed out a little bit farther. But you guys get to see more if I zoom in. You get to see how pretty it is and how cool everything looks. So 2 activation points. Gonna move right there. There's no sense in opportunity firing because they can just regular fire anyways. So these guys will be moved. Alright. Germans, they could delay, but I think they have to activate this unit to move. He will go 1, 2 to go there. This guy can't actually see him because the building blocks the line of sight. 3, 4, which means this is now going to go back to the Germans. Look at them fight. The RATTENKRIEG. The RATTENKRIEG is... And they're going to take that back over, which means... Go back up to 4. The Russians back down to 1. Really? They only have 1? Wait a minute. 1? They only have 1 point. 1? Really? Wait a minute. Oh, that's because they just got this point. I was like, yeah, wait a minute. So they got this point. I know you probably wait till the end of the turn, but I don't want to forget at the end of the turn. So we can switch that back. So victory points back to 3, and they get 2. And maybe the Germans should have opportunity fired, but when they moved into this hex, but they have to be very judicious on their impulse points because they're down to 4 already. I gotta remember to do that. Alright, Russian turn. Alright, so this sergeant is gonna move 1. The only one no one can see him yet, but I am gonna move here for 2. So this German's gotta take the shot. So he's a 4 firepower. He'll get a you get the +1 because of the leader. But 4 firepower. He's only got a defensive 4, so they're on the 0 column with a +1 to their die roll. And 6, 7, 8 +1 is 9 is... Oh, it's going to be casualty. So that is going to reduce him. Reduce. And And that is a casualty, which means we have to roll to see if the leader dies. 1 to 6. Out of 1, he dies. It's a 2. No, he's still alive. These guys are marked as fired. But he's not broken, so he can continue on. Just some of the guys die in the rubble here. And they're going to go 3-4 to go there. And that is going to change it over. Give me a marker. Russian control marker. Thank you. That was there, right? All right, so they're going to move in there. Oh, this guy will fire again. It cost him an impulse to fire. So that is going to go down. And it cost him an impulse to move that unit. So, got to remember to do that stuff. It'd be easier if I had the map, but he's only got 3 impulses left already. If he doesn't fire, this unit can just mow this guy over, and that wouldn't be good either. He will opportunity fire. Yes. He will have the -2 column with the +1 to his roll. Oh my gosh. That's a 12. Casualties and a broken result. So, this guy's going to get wiped out. And I'm not sure they're going to actually take possession of this thing then. So 1, 2, or 3, and this leader is dead. It's a 1, and this leader is dead. And so that's going to mean 3 casualty points. 1, 2 for the 2 points for the squad, and then 1 for the leader. And I'm not sure they actually take possession of that spot then, because they all got wiped out when they went in there. But this guy is marked used, because he's now fired twice. Once when they got here and once when they moved there. So he's used. And that's what the Germans were, or what the Russians really wanted anyways. Because now he can move someone else. Like, say, this guy. Oh, and it cost him another impulse, right, to shoot. So we're down to 2 already. So the Russians are going to spend an impulse to move this guy. 1. Anybody want to shoot? No. 2, 3. And now they will get this point, because there's not much the German can do, just because they don't have the units. They can do intensive fire, but they will automatically shake themselves if they do that. And at this point, with only having 3 guys left on the map, I don't think he wants to take the chance, because he will automatically... Yeah, he will automatically... And with this guy right next door, all of this guy has to do is just walk in there when those guys are shaken, and that would be very bad. The Germans with 2 impulses left. This guy will fire at this hex and try to shoot at the top rifle squad there. And he's a firepower of 5 plus 1 for being adjacent 6. This guy has got a defensive 6. So it'll be a straight up roll. And that's a 3, and that's a nothing. And that's a fire marker. And that is a 1 impulse left. This guy will fire at Z26. And this is could get really bad. So he's going to throw the bundle and the squads and the light machine gun. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 firepower. He has a defense of 4 plus 2 for the building is 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They got a +1 for the leader roll. +1 for the leader roll. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 versus 6 are on the +4 column with a +1 to the dice roll. And that's going to be 6 plus 1 is 7. That is going to be a casualty. So this guy's going to take a casualty. Doesn't need to make a check because it doesn't say. It just says C. And now that little bundle thing is gone. And these guys are... oops. No. Oh my gosh, I just want the 1 unit. Thank you. Alright, these guys will be used now because they moved and now they fired. That was a casualty, so the Germans are now up to 10 casualty points. Probably next time I'm just going to have, I'm just going to keep track here on my task on my table as opposed to do it in Vassal. Just so that way we can stay on the battlefield a little bit better. And that was a 2-pointer to activate that guy. So they're down to 4. Germans have 1 left, so they're going to probably pass. So they have assault squad there. This guy's a shock with the leader. So I have the 3 objectives. For now, anyways. These guys will... Do we want to try and push some more? Yeah, we definitely would like to. These guys haven't moved for a while yet. It's just so hard to get anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, they will spend an activation. They're just going to keep putting the pressure on. I mean, they got kind of what the Russians did in real life. They just have the manpower, so they're just going to use the men. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's moved. Oh, these guys should be moved. Back to the Germans. Germans say... They want to use their... they might want to hold on to it in case somebody else comes this way, so they're going to pass. And I think we did get that, spend that impulse, so they have 3 more guys they can do stuff with. Yeah, they're going ahead and fire with this guy. So they're down to 2. And they're going to fire at him. He's got 3 defense plus 2 is a 5. This is a 5 firepower plus 1 because he's adjacent to 6. So 6 versus 5. So plus 1 column with a plus 1 to the dice roll. Oh, fuck. And that's a big fat miss. Back to the Germans, they pass. Back to the Russians. One, two, three, four. Move this guy. This guy had already moved too. I almost forgot about him. That's going to cost an impulse. So now the Germans have to do something. Oh, these guys should be marked as moved as well. So he can't move, he can only fire, so he's not going to be able to do much. This guy fired, let's try and fire again. He's going to fire at this big stack of guys again. 5 firepower plus 1 for being adjacent 6. He's going to try and take out this rifle squad by the lieutenant. That is 4 plus 2, so he's on the even column. A 9 on the even column. That could be something interesting. And that's casualty. So this guy gets casualtied. And that is another. I think I missed one when they took a casualty just a minute ago from somebody. And now the lieutenant needs to see if he dies. He does not. So this guy is now marked as used. And they're out of impulses. The Russians have 1 left. This guy that moved, let's see, yeah. 5 firepower plus 1 for being adjacent 6. This guy is a 4 plus 1 for the building, or plus 2 for the building is 6, so he'd be even up. Yeah, might as well take a shot. It's on the 0 column. He's a 5, and that is a big fat nothing. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the turn. That is the end of the turn. We can remove the admin counters. So the Russians have 3 objectives. 1, 2, 3. The Germans only have 1, 2. Score victory points. End the turn. Extended play. Blah, blah, blah. We are on turn number 1 coming up. So, oops, over here. Over here somewhere. Here it is. So when we get to turn number 1, I think we roll a die and let's see. Let's look at our rule book. I think we like roll a die, and if we roll like a 1 or 2, it goes one more turn, or 1, 2, or 3, it goes another turn, or something like that. Let's see here. Movement. Oh, right. I've been forgetting that once you move and then fire, you get a -1 to your attack. So I should remember that. It's hard playing several different tactical systems all on the same day, let alone it doesn't tell me there. Where would it tell me? Okay. Extended play, yes, extended play. With impulse points expended and the turn 1 marker on 1. Oh, so wait a minute. So you don't know until the end of the turn. At the end of this turn, when all impulse points have been expended and the turn markers on 1, then each player rolls a d6. If the total is 7 or greater, move the turn marker to 0 and play 1 extra turn. All right, got it. Got it. Simple. Simple. I just didn't know. All right. Turn marker on 1. Got it. Reinforcements, none. Attached leaders and weapons. Let's see if anybody wants to change. I don't think so. I think everybody is with who they're going to be with. Alright, right, so that's done. Smoke counters, none. Scenario rolls, none. Free rally. Nobody's broken, nobody's nothing. Everybody's just dead. Initiative roll. Alright, Germans. Initiative 7. Russians 8. So the Russians gonna win again. Impulse roll. Germans 2d6. -2 because they're now over 10 casualties. They're on 10 exactly. So they get a -2 to their dice roll. And that is... Oh, that's just brutal. That is just brutal. 1. They rolled a 3. -2 is 1. The Russians are at... How many? They are at... they're at a -1, but they get 3d6. So 2d6. 7 plus 1 is 8. -1 is 7. So they're up to 7. 7 versus 1 on the last... Basically the last turn of the game is pretty much sealed the fate of the Germans. They cannot even try to get a point back other than maybe like assaulting into this hex. Winning the assault... Actually, that's an interesting dilemma. Right. Control. Let's look at control and see if it's in a melee. Just nobody owns it. Control hexes. Control hexes are contested when unresolved melee remains ongoing in the hex at the end of the turn. Contested control hexes are not scored unless otherwise noted. Alright, so... The Germans have one shot at this. So the Russians know this, and the Russians are going to use their... So the only thing the Germans can do is move units in there. We can't shoot both of these guys, so we're going to have to... We're going to have to shoot. Now the question is, who do we shoot with? 5, 6, 7, 8. Two, 4, 6. So yeah, this guy's going to throw a Molotov into this hex. So we're going to activate this unit. And down to 6 impulses. This is going to be a quick turn. Alright, so he's going to throw the Molotov, and that's 5, 6, 7, plus 1 for being adjacent is 8. Defense of 4, plus 2 for the building is 6. So plus 2 column, plus 2 column. Oh my god, he rolled an 11. +2 column and rolled an 11 is an X result. And that's going to kill off that guy. Put 2 more casualty points for the Germans. 1, 2, or 3, the sergeant dies as well. He does. That's another casualty point. And now it is the Germans' one and only impulse they're going to get to do this turn. That'll be it. And they are going to move in and assault. They got to assault that X. Just have to. It's the only thing they got left to do. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th one? I think we're missing a control point. Let me look at my... I'm like, wait a minute. Hang on a second. Y25. That is right here. No, Y25 is right here. And for some reason... Y25, Z22, that must be there. Somehow that got moved as well. That's great. Get off of there, would you? Yeah. So we'll just assume these guys are there. Z25, which is right here. W23, which is right here. AA26, which is right here. Oh, okay. So did... Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, wait a second. That guy was on a control point. So if he tries to get this control point, he's going to leave this one wide open. Ha! Yeah, I think the Germans are in trouble. Because this unit just got blown up by this Molotov. And he's moved his... fired. If he would have had, if this unit wouldn't have been destroyed, he could have moved that one in, and then this one could try to fend off anybody that's trying to come into this X. So yeah, the Germans will pass, which means the Russians will spend an impulse, 2 impulses actually, to move in there. Try and get that X. The Germans will pass. This guy will move 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you spend your one and only to take opportunity fire? Yes, I think you do. You might as well. Because the guy is actually out in the open. So he's got a defense of 4. He's going to have an attack of 4, +1 for being adjacent 5. So he's on the +1 column with the +1 to the dice roll. 7 + 1 is 8. Where's my chart? 8 is a casualty. So it was worth it. Reduce. That is their one impulse. Because he decided not to assault that hex anyways, because he had to keep that other one. Alright, so this guy's been moved. This guy's been fired. Alright, the Russians now have basically how many more moves? They have 4 more moves. Hey Steeler fan, how you doing, buddy? 4 more moves for free because the Germans cannot leave. They have no activations. They can't opportunity fire. They can't do anything. So you might as well go 1, 2, 3, 4. That unit will move. That's 1. Then this guy will go 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be 2. This guy will move up just in case. That'll be 3. And this sergeant will move there. That'll be 4 just in case. All right. So that's it with that. Melee phase. Oh, it's going to get bad for the Germans again. Oh, they do have an assault unit there, so that's okay, actually. They actually might be okay in this. So firepower for the rifle squads is only 2, 4, 6. They get no bonuses because they're a rifle squad, so that's 6 firepower. They got a +1 in the dice roll. The assault unit is a 3. So that is a 6 versus 3 with a +1 in the dice roll. So +3 column, and they rolled a 5. +1 is a 6. +1 is going to be a 6, and that is going to be a broken chance. Has to roll 7 or higher. And he rolled 7, so no effect on the Russian unit here. Russian firepower is 5, +1 is 6. Oh, hang on a second. You get the +2 as well. Right, so let me recalculate that. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 versus 3 is the +5 column. He rolled a 6, and that is a casualty. So he will take a casualty. Now the Germans, 5 +1 for being assault is 6, +2 is 8. And he is on the 8. So he's on the +4 column. He rolled an 8 on the +4 column. And that will be a casualty and a possible suppression. So he's going to take a casualty. And this guy is going to take a casualty. Wait, what? Hang on. Oh, he's already casualty, so he's going to be dead. And that means the leader has to roll to see if he survives. 1d6, a 1. It's a 4, he's okay. So after the melee, does everyone just stay in their hex and go on? Let's find out, shall we? Melee. Next. Melee combat. It is possible for a melee to last multiple turns. Okay. So you don't have to, just, nobody gets kicked out. Hey, Tony. How you doing? Yeah, I'm busy. Yeah, you know it. All right. So this melee will continue. I don't know if I have a melee marker. I should probably get one just in case. We have one last turn. We're on the last turn of the game. We're in turn number 1. We're in the last turn number 1 now. At the end of the melee phase, remove unit marker, score victory points. We're going to roll. Each side rolls a d6. If we roll 7 or higher, we go to turn number 0. Otherwise, the game is over. So the German player rolls a 5. The Russian player rolls a 3. That means we will go and have turn number 0. Turn number 0. Let's delete the admin counters. Turn marker, reinforcements, attached leaders. Let's see here. This leader will attach with that unit. This lieutenant will stay with this rifle squad. And I have a feeling this poor German is going to be in trouble because now we can reinforce that melee. All right. Free broken. Nobody's broken, so you don't have to worry about that. Initiative roll. Germans 4. Russians 4. Reroll. Germans 9. Russians 5. So the Germans are going to win. Let's see. Impulse. The Germans are at -2 to their 2d6. That's 11. -2 is 9. They're not going to be able to even use them, though. That's the problem. They have 9 impulses. Last time they had 1. Now they have 9. Unbelievable. The Russians have 7 plus 6 is 13. Good. -1. So they have 12 impulses. They won't be able to use all theirs either. 12 impulses. They don't have enough guys on the map to really make it worth it. Alright, the Germans get to go first. This guy can't do anything because he's locked in melee, so the only thing this guy can do is either fire or move. So guess what? He's going to fire. He's going to try for that rifle squad out in the open there. Actually... they're in the building now. Four firepower, +1 for being adjacent, 5. Just take the shot and see what happens. 5. Yeah, he would have a firepower of... +1 is a 6, though, because of the leader. So that's going to be an S result, possible shaken. So that rifle squad's going to take a 7 or higher check. No, and so he becomes shaken. All right, so that is one of the many impulses the Germans have, but they cannot do anything with. He fired. He's going to be able to fire again. No, he's not. Because the German... You know what? The Russian is going to go ahead and spend his activation to assault, move into that hex. And now that is in melee. And it costs him an activation. So he is down to 10 impulses. So basically, the German player cannot do anything because all of his units on the map are locked in melee. So the Russian player can now just... I think you can reinforce the melee if I'm not mistaken. Am I not mistaken on that? You can't win the first time, but I think afterwards you can. Yeah, up to the stacking limit, right. So stacking limit's two units and a leader. So that's all he can do is move up a unit into that hex. So everybody passes because, I mean, he could 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll move that guy. Might as well move these guys. Not that it's going to matter because this is the last turn, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Everyone's moved. These guys can move, but they don't need to. All right. So let's see if any of these melees end. So the Germans have 4 firepower plus 2 because of the melee bonus, plus 1 because of the leaders. The leaders give the 1. The leaders give a 1. I don't think so. So it's 4, 5, 6 firepower, defense of 4. So they're on the plus 2 column. They're on the plus 2 column. And let's see what the German rolls. He rolls an 8 on the plus 2. 8 on the plus 2 is a casualty. So this guy will be removed, so the German will keep possession of this hex. But this guy gets to fire first. He's going to have 4 firepower plus the 2 for melee is 2, 4, 6. So we'll have 6 firepower versus defense of 4. So he will have a plus 2 column. No, he's a shock, so he actually gets a bonus of 1. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 4. He's on the plus 3 column. And a 9. And it's going to be a casualty and a broken. So he's going to take a casualty and get removed, but this guy also... But the German's going to keep control of this point, though. He won't be casualtied. Casualty reduced. I have to see if the leader survives. That is a 1. He dies. It's a 1. Oh, the leader died in the combat. Unbelievable. So the leader dies. Melee is no longer there. But the Germans are going to hold this position. Let's see about this one, though. This poor guy doesn't stand much of a chance down here. He's 2 firepower, plus 2 for the melee, plus 1 for the assault. 2, 4, 5 versus a 4 defense. And so he's going to be on the plus 1 column. He rolls a 7. Plus 1 column and a 7 is a broken chance. So the unit has to roll 7 or higher. He rolls a 6. Let's see. Before he breaks and runs away, we have a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 versus 3. So he's on the plus 7 column with the plus 1 for the leader. He's probably going to end up killing this guy anyways. 8 plus 1 is 9. Yeah, that's an X. So this unit's dead. And the Germans are going to lose possession of that point at the last moment. The Russians come in there and take possession of that point. This guy will be reduced and broken, and he will have to retreat out of the hex. And he will, I guess he will retreat there. That makes sense. But they do take possession of that. And that is going to be that for the scenario. I guess that is it. I probably did some things wrong, missed a few things here or there. But yeah, that is the RATTENKRIEG Stalingrad scenario from old school tactical version or volume number 1, and it ends up being a Russian. They're going to have 1, 2, 3. They're going to have 4 control points. The Germans are barely going to keep the 1. Barely keep the 1. What really hurt them is, you know, with 1 turn or 2 turns remaining, they rolled 1 impulse point, which just allowed the Russians to come running up, surround every German unit there was, and then just pile in on them because there's nothing they can do about it. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I just have to, I'm going to probably, like I said, if you're just joining us, probably keep track of the casualty and the victory points and everything on a card stock sheet I have here on my table. I'll probably do that. It'll be a lot easier than trying to keep track on the map and keep zooming in and out, moving it back and forth and everything like that. Just a little bit easier, but I don't know that until you actually play the scenario and figure out what works best for you, you know? So this was definitely a Russian. The Germans started off well. The Russians got that artillery barrage early in the game and took out their heavy machine gun. They rolled a 12, and it just removed that gun right off the bat, which really opened this east side for units to come in. That was a big advantage for the Russians. The system, you know, I'm not an expert, but it was the first time I played, obviously. And I know many different tactical systems, so you get a little bit confused on the rules, what you can do, what you can't do. I played Locked and Load Tactical earlier today, which doesn't help either. So just trying to remember what leaders can do and, you know, all that. So lots of more scenarios for old school tactical. I think it's a really good system. It's really bloody. And you definitely take your bounding with your units. The Russians, you know, just decided, you know, if we're going to take a pounding, let's just use our massive weight of superiority. Let's see. The Russians start with 5, 9, 11 units, 11 squads. The Germans only start with 3, 6, and the heavy machine gun. So I guess it's kind of balanced, but you know, it's a matter of using your Molotovs in the right spot, using your bundles, which can get through this really hard terrain. Really, this +2 really puts you at a disadvantage unless you can get a lot of units stacked up. The Germans couldn't. The Russians could. You know, that's basically 10 firepower. You throw in a couple light machine guns or a Molotov on top of that, and you're talking 10, 12 firepower versus a defense of maybe 6. So you're on the +4, +5, +6 column, and that's gonna do some damage. I mean, even if you roll just a normal 7, it's still a casualty, and possibly a casualty and a suppression or broken, depending on if you're on the +5 column or higher. But yeah, that's pretty good. I like using the Vassal. Hopefully you guys can see everything clearly, as opposed to using my actual counters on my table. And it makes setup a little bit easier for me. Yeah, these bundles for the Germans, +3, right? So 3 firepower. You wait till somebody moves up adjacent, you throw it on them, plus your firepower of your units. You know, that's really the advantage, having these support weapons. The Russians used them early, and they couldn't get any hits at all, and it was just horrible. But then I think that middle German unit become broken around turn 5 or 4 right here, and then when he became broken, the Russians were able to move up and did a big casualty result on the Germans and killed off one of the units. The leader had to run away, and that really sent the Germans in full retreat mode at that point. And they just don't have enough units to keep all the control points. They just needed to keep 3, but they couldn't. They can only keep 1. But that was a pretty good scenario. I like the system. I like the rule book. It really, you know, just lists, you know, melee, boom, 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 all the rules without a lot of extra, you know, text or fluff, and you know, it's easy, you know, just it's like short sentences. If you are, you know, melee place, combat takes place. Melee hexes may not be fired into. Units in a melee are locked in combat and can't do anything else. Other units not move into initial melee once set. Melee hexes cannot be moved through and do not affect line of sight of other units. You know, very precise, detailed sentences that make very easy sense. If you are like have a background like I do, ASL, when you're reading these paragraphs and it makes no sense whatsoever compared to this rule book, the ASL rule book should rewrite it from scratch anyways because they're idiots. But that's a different point. But this rule book's so much easier just to look at the information, just read. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, got it. And everything's well laid out. The counters and everything are great. The maps are great. His scenario was really fun, and having the impulses can definitely, it was interesting that both sides got the special tactics card that they needed. The German player got his +3 to initiative, or to his impulse points, and he needed that because he rolled a 1 at one point and would have left him with 1 impulse. And then the Russian player needed something to help him break through the defensive line, and that was that artillery barrage early in the game. And it ended up, like I said, it took out that heavy machine gun that was on the Germans' east flank over here. And once that machine gun went down, the Russians the Germans didn't have enough players or units over here to keep attacking, and they didn't have enough impulses either. So I like the impulse system. It works really well with tactical games in general, I think, because you have to decide, is it more important for me to move this unit and try to get them over there? Or is it more important for me to use this unit and try to shoot this guy before he can move over and try to grab this point? I mean, it brings a lot more tactical situations into the game. That's why it took me so long to play this, because I'm always thinking, and I'm playing both sides, which doesn't help, but I'm always thinking, well, this guy could do this, but if he does this, then this guy could do that, and blah 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 blah. So it can definitely slow you down. So I just decided, I'm just going to make a decision and just go with it, and not try to, it's like chess. You could, once you're 8 moves into a chess match, right? You have like everything opened up to you now, and now the endless possibilities of you moving each of your units and then counter moving compared to your units. Your opponent can do this and can't do this. If you do this, it exponentially opens up the possibilities. So once these units started to get engaged together, the possibilities go through the roof. If I do this, or should I do this first? Which is more important? Should this unit move? Should it fire? Should it wait? Should it hold its fire? I mean, there's just so many good choices. I think the impulse systems with tactical games is great, because tactical means thinking about many moves and how you're going to get to perform what you need to do with those allotted moves that you get. So I just, and then, like I said, really easy system to understand and play. I'm really impressed with the old school tactical. I'd probably be picking up the volume 2 and the volume 3. I know volume 2 is still waiting to be reprinted. You can't find volume 2 anymore. And there's a couple good expansions, the Airborne expansion and the Ghost Front expansion, which are super cool. So looking forward to getting some more of old school tactical, and I would highly recommend it. If you enjoyed this, let me know. All right, Steeler fan 1933 and Tony, my friends, hopefully you're having a good night. We'll see everyone next time. But in the RATTENKRIEG, it was the Russians that took out the Germans and captured 4 of the 5 victory points, and they will go home victorious, and they will be drinking vodka tonight, enjoying and partying around the table with all of their loved ones, while the Germans will retreat and get a lecture from the Führer about their lack of dedication to the motherland. So 2 different fortunes for the units that took place of this battle. All right, guys, have a good night. We'll see everyone next time.